So got that type of glass there, or just change the type of glass that is going there. And yeah, I'm gonna show you some ways we can tweak this glass when we start working on adding materials to each of those. So glass is done, and I want to start working on what's going to be the fabrics as well. And I think we can start just adding materials to our project and making it look beautiful. And the thing about the path tracer, I'm just going to show you this quickly, just so you can visualize it better. So I'm going to go here and select path tracer. So you got this, for example, when it was 0.1, okay, maybe now it's working fine because I did that switch. But let me just show you in the material. So if I didn't do that, oh, let me just do it here. So opacity to 0.1 like we had. You see, it's not behaving as we want to behave. Like it's not looking as we had it in Lumen. So I'm just gonna go back to that and then go to here and then change to this to 0.1. And let's see if I change this. No, that's fine. And then 1 is no opacity, and 0, there is some opacity. And I think maybe because of the exponential high fog, I think that might be the thing that is not showing properly. But let me see just from here if I can see. So 1, there is none. 0.1, there is there, and 0.6 is roughly there. So this work just, let's see, nothing changed here. So if I go back to lit mode, I can see it that way, but on path tracer is not acting like it would. Maybe if I show you with a sphere, let's see how this looks in here. So, or maybe even a plane. Let's compare these two. Remember, I'm still on path tracer. So I've got my values here, 0.1 and 1 by 1. And let me see if I can just switch realistic glass. And go back to Lumen. Well, the Lumen is different, the opacity for sure. So 0.5 and this 5.2. So glass is always a tricky one to twitch, but we can just, we can just find what is optimal for our project. It used to be able to just invert this, like in a sphere reflection. Maybe if I set this to, sorry, I'm just gonna go into light mask setting, not here, material property override. Then go to two-sided. No. thing is on, remember that parameter we changed in here for this translucent volume. So let's go to forward shading. Just gonna apply that. And go back to the material class. And then opacity 0.8. And let's see in path tracing if it make any difference. No, so this things is something I need to keep tweaking. It was working fine when I created in 5.3 or 2, but I used to be able to see the reflection, excuse me, like the other way around, and probably it was some parameters that have changed recently or they changed recently that is not working as it should. But for a project for this one, it's gonna be fine. We don't need to worry too much about, I mean, that type of reflection, unless we're gonna do a sphere that's gonna be sitting in the table, but not for this case. Two-sided, no. Let's see. No, it doesn't. It's not working as it was before. But again, for this project, it's gonna be fine. So let's jump into the cloth one and work with these parameters. And then when I see or find new ways of working with those materials, then we can see what we can do about them. But I think it's something related with post-process volume. So if I go to post-process volume here, and I go all the way down, there is a parameter here called translucency. So if I click here and then go into ray tracing, there you go. You've got a more realistic glass in there. So just gonna go back to this. And then if I say, realistic glass, you see the reflection there. It's behaving like in real life, like in a sphere in real life. That it's upside down, and that is how it should be, like realistically. So without this realistic glass and realistically. But we can also, I mean, duplicate this glass and then just set this for this glass particularly or not. But that I needed to find why it wasn't working. But that was the parameter I was looking for in the post-process volume. Just be mindful that this has its source on a system, and also for you can see this on here, but when we are in this translucent volume, which the surface translucency volume, you can't see it anymore. So it depends. If you want to really see the sun on the glass, just go to this and forward shading. But again, it's the most expensive method. So I always try to keep it in there. If I need more quality on the glass, I will push it. But if it's like a video game that I want to release, or not release, just send to a client to go through the walkthrough, then I think I just want to keep things as let's say as faster as possible. So now we can do is go into the materials, and by the way, I'm gonna close this. I need to change these global scalar parameters, so let's do that. Going in here into the MF refraction glass, so I will say this is refraction and opacity. And for this too, and for this one as well. So let's see how that looks there into the material. So refraction and opacity. Yeah, that's a good position to be there. Opacity path tracer, this didn't save, so we need to go here and here. Yeah. Okay, got it now, all working. Just let's set this to 1 and then we are set for the glass. And actually I'm just gonna close all of this just because it's getting convoluted. And yeah, I'm gonna save all the changes. I'm gonna delete this, I don't need it anymore. Got that the reflection there. Now let's go into the master. I can move this into instances. And I'm going to duplicate again the basic material. I'm gonna call this probably cloth. So for this, I'm gonna change this to cloth. And now we got more options in here that we can just tweak. So a constant 3, so if I press 3 and then convert this into a parameter, then this is going to be our fuzz color. And we can set this value like a white, pure white. That should do. And then connect this to this fuzz color there. And then a parameter, let me see, S, and then left click, then cloth. I would say this is called fuzz intensity, or I think a value of 0.12 works fine generally. Let me see in only. Okay, it's still the same, maybe because it's a white. There are other methods that we can do this using Fresnel, but just let's keep it simple for these fabrics. And I'm just gonna set this to the group cloth, and this one as well. And let's see how this works when we add it to a piece of fabric like this. So create a material instance. Let's go cloth mi cloth. Go into instances, move it there, and then I'm just gonna apply it there and see how these work with a texture map. Remember, we imported some textures, then we can use those textures now. So I go textures, fabrics. Oh, we haven't imported, sorry about that. It's on the textures and fabric, and then we can just add them in here. So let me see what type of fabric we got. We can use this one, 60. Is it crushed? It seems like it's a little bit crushed, so maybe this one should be fine. Fabric in here, we can set this to maybe 4, maybe 6. I got the fuzz color here, sorry, and then you see here, there's a sort of like what do you call this? It's more like a, this is trying to simulate the fibers in the cloth. And if I increase this, see the value is going to go up or down. So it's like a layer on top of that texture. And maybe we need to look into the normal, see if we can see it better. And the roughness as well. And I'm gonna use this roughness here. As you see here, it's separate, it's not longer packed. So if I open that, it's a gray scale texture. So we can use this in here, set it in there. And probably maybe it's too much, 0.5, and I think I'm gonna duplicate this to 12. So we got some fabric there. Probably is the height is too big, but we can play with the fuzz and set it as we need it. So for example, for velvet, I think there are other methods that are better than this using Fresnel, but I think we're gonna just use this type of fabric like cottons and leather as well. So we're gonna just focus on that. And in a time, if we use a velvet, I can do a separate video of how I create those velvets. And now what we're going to do, or what I'm gonna do, is to set some materials and then apply it to all of our project. And I'm gonna speed things up here, but I'm just gonna leave it there just so you can see the process a little bit, and then you can slow down the video if it's going too fast for you. But at the end, I will explain how I did things and what type of material I created. So don't worry if I'm not talking. I'm just gonna put some background music and start working on all of those materials that we are gonna use. So see you when this is done.